A very warm welcome to all the lovely children of class 6th. Well, I'm here to teach you the first lesson of literature, Taro's Reward. Now, which is a Japanese folk tale. What's a folk tale? Folk tale means a story. The stories, which have an oral tradition. In earlier times, there were stories which were told loudly in a group, as you people must be, your grandparents must, must be narrating stories to you at times, which you really listen with interest. So, folk tales are just like fairy tales. You must have heard the stories of Cinderella, Snow White, A Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, such stories which we have been listening since childhood, although later now they have been, we can read them in books in written form also. They have been translated into movies also, but earlier it was a tradition that it was passed from one generation to another only in the oral form. So such stories are folk tales. Now before I start with the story, I would like to discuss something very important about the most important persons in our lives. Of course, you will agree the most important people are our parents. Now, a parental love, the parental love is the only love that is truly selfless, unconditional, and forgiving. You know that parents all their life, they keep your happiness and needs above their own. So, what is our duty? And their love is truly selfless. There is no selfishness. It's unconditional. They will not keep any condition, for loving you. And of course, they forgive our mistakes. So, what we need to do as children, we should appreciate our parents. And you never know what sacrifices they went through for you. So, what is our moral duty? We should respect and obey our parents, and we should do things which bring joy and happiness to them as they bring joy and happiness to us. It's our moral duty to give them some happiness in return. So, this story is about one such young man whose name is Taro. Taro, there was this young man, who is by profession a woodcutter. He is a poor man and he lives with his old parents in a small hut in a village in Japan. And one evening, Taro was sitting in one corner of a hut with his parents, and suddenly, strong wind whistled through the cracks of the hut. Maybe the roof of the hut in which they lived, they had certain cracks. So the strong wind, which was blowing outside, it made its passage through those cracks, and everyone in the hut, felt very cold. They were feeling very cold. So at this moment, as you can see in the picture, Taro's father made a wish. Oh, I wish I had a cup of sake. Now, this word Sake, it's sake also, but it has another meaning sake. Sake is actually a Japanese drink which is made up of rice and it is quite expensive, quite costly. So, his father has expressed a wish, to have a cup of sake. It would warm me and do my old heart good. It was a very warm drink, which was, good to drink during winters, especially. So his father really wished, and Taro was, feeling bad at this moment since he could not, manage to drink sake. So he was very sad and disheartened that night. So much so that he decided that he will work much harder than before in order to earn more money and at least that much money that he could arrange sake for his father. So next morning, what he did, he got up from his bed earlier than usual and went straight to the forest and he started chopping wood. He started cutting wood He wanted to work as much as he can and earn more and more money. So after a while, he was completely sweating, and his mouth was dry, his face was wet with sweat, and he was feeling warm. And at this moment, he thought, my poor old father, if only he was as warm as I. So, as warm as I am feeling at this moment, I wish my father could have felt the same. So, he thought that he will work, and then he started further cutting the wood. And with that, he began to chop even faster by thinking of the money that he's going to earn by cutting more and more wood. Suddenly, what happened? While he was chopping the woods, he heard of a sound of a waterfall. Could it could it be? And he just made his all his ears. He stopped his work. He threw his axe on the ground and he started. Could it be? Could it possibly be rushing water? Because he has never heard of any waterfall in that area earlier. And he ran in the direction of the sound, in the direction of the sound of the water. The moment he reached the sound, the place where he could hear the sound, he actually saw a beautiful waterfall behind the falling down from a rock. And he said, I can't believe. And what he did, he knelt down, he bent down on his knees from the place where the stream was, where the waterfall was quietly flowing. He cupped his hands and he just, took some water from the waterfall and he tasted it. The moment he tasted it, it was not water, rather, it was the delicious sake. He was quite surprised. He couldn't believe this waterfall has delicious sake instead of water. This was a miracle. And without wasting time, there was a pitcher which he was carrying with him, as you can see in the picture. The pitcher, the container which is hung around his shoulder, he quickly filled the pitcher with the sake and carried it back home very excitedly. It was like a dream come true for Taro. So his wish was fulfilled, as it was his heartfelt desire that he should arrange sake for his father. So he brought the pitcher home and he gave it to the old man. And his father was so delighted. He was so happy. He gave so much blessings to Taro. With just one sip, the man felt so warm. It was so nice. And he almost, dance started. He stood up, his father stood up and had a bit of a dance in the middle of the floor. So everyone was very happy with this miracle, with this magic. Now what happened? A lady, a neighbor, who was just passing by, and this lady stopped at Taro's house for a visit. She stopped for a while. And Taro's father, as you can see in the picture, he very politely offered the lady to taste the sake. And the lady was surprised, but she first greedily, just drank it, as it was very delicious and warm, of course. And his father, Taro's father, told the lady, you see, this sake is from the waterfall that my son found in the forest. Now, this was quite a surprise for the lady, and something, which needs to be shared, of course. Why it should be kept a secret? So she went and she spread this news to all the people in the village. So since it was a small village, by nightfall, the story of the waterfall had spread throughout the village. Each and every villager came to know about this magical waterfall. So this is how, before we continue, this is the end of the first session. And before I end, I'm giving you the following multiple choice questions based on the story, the portion that I have discussed. You should be able to attempt these multiple choice questions. Surely I'll discuss these answers in my next session. Till then, take care and thank you so much.